let's just point out to the listeners and the watchers, people watching it as well. There is a little bit of a delay between Perth and India at the moment. Probably some high traffic through some of the international fiber or optic fiber, or I don't know what happens in the magic between these countries. But there is a little bit of delay, so bear with us there. But we'll keep on going, and hopefully we'll be able to get through this interview. So why don't we give people a little bit of a sense as to who you are and what it is you do?
I went to sea in '95 after school. So I was 19 then, and since '95 I've been at sea for about 17 years. That's still 2012. So I went up the ranks. You start as a cadet, you go up the rank, third officer, second officer, chief officer, and then I was captain. So I was captain on VLCCs for a couple of years before I stepped ashore. So how do I move into safety? For us in maritime, we don't have safety professionals. So we move in from an operational role. We straight move into an office role, and that could have safety. And it all depends on your years of experience that you've had at sea. That's a safety professional. So you don't have a safety professional in the sense that there is a professional safety guy who's had an academic background in safety. And the bridge that I'm talking about is between the operational knowledge that you're bringing in from the sharp end and the lot of theories and the research and the safety science that's around. There's just so much of it, and it would be. What am I trying to get it to? It would be so much more helpful if you used all of this knowledge that you're bringing in from the sharp end combine that with a theory, with the safety science. So during one of those browsers that was open and I was reading, I happened to read Holnagel, and I happened to read his ETTO, the efficiency thoroughness trade-off. I somehow remember that was the first sort of, I don't know if I can call that an academic text, but at least something that was different, right? And when I read that, it was so, I just realized there's another way of looking at the world. Mm-hmm. Right? So for me, I think the industry bodies, including the OCIMF and particularly the OCIMF, they have their heart in the right place. They have the right intent. But I think a publication won't do. I think what it requires is a lot of hand-holding of the ship operators. What it requires, in my view, is possibly to train people like me in human factors. And it should be an industry-wide effort and not through a publication. I think at least 2 people from every organization, they sort of do this program. It could be a month-long or 3-month-long program, but some sort of a program that gives you some deeper insight into what human factors is, other than the superficial phrases, work as imagined and work as done, PIFs, performance influencing factors. And when I say patriarchal, I mean it needs the father figure to tell people what to do. And this is right down from the extreme blunt end to the sharp end. Everyone's telling everyone else what to do. Everyone knows better than the other what to do. So this is our industry, right? So you have industry bodies, not just regulators. You have quasi-regulators. You have regulators who give recommendations that are not recommendations. So they have books, thick books that says recommendations, but you want to do business with me,
they have to be done.
Then recommendation is not recommendation, right? You better be doing that. So It's like me sitting in the office. I would say, oh, those people on the ship, they don't know anything. When I was there, I used to do this so much better. These people just don't know anything. Their training is no good. They're not situationally aware. They're not careful. They're not mindful. They just don't take care. How can they do this? And from the ship side, people on the ship, the seafarers are thinking, oh, those guys in the office, they're sitting and just pushing paper. They're just sending out emails. They just got questions to ask when something happens.
Yeah. I think with anyone, and this is only my opinion, and it sounds similar to yours, when people call themselves an expert or a specialist or something along those lines, it's a bit of a natural deterrent for me, because it's very presumptive that they are the expert or they are the specialist in that area, and it kind of makes me pull away a little bit.
I think it's very difficult to even. I think instead of talking about cultures in such a large sense, if you look at what is tangible and who is sitting next to you and your relationship with that person, maybe that makes a lot more sense, because we all tend to abstract things and say that this nationality is bad or this religion is bad, right? But that's when you abstract it out and say, look at it from a very how do you say that? Look at that as a group. But instead, if I were to speak to someone next to me of a particular religion or a particular nationality, I have a relationship with that person.